job. Yeah, you have your ear.
No, I don't need an earpiece for that.
Okay. Okay.
He tells you that he's not going to start prepping until Friday, and then he tells me it's going to be awesome. It's a tough week. It's a tough week. Get the fuck out of here. Hi, guys. Good to see you, brother. Hey, I mean, you can eliminate the Yankees and the Rays in a postseason. Not all is lost. Hey, buddy. Right here. Oh, we got digital? Digital. Here, too. I've been here all week, so I'm excited to see my children. Needless to say. I'm just waiting for your group. You too, brother. How you doing, man? See you, brother. All right. Whatever you want, John. All right. All right. Thank you all for being here for the official weigh-in for UFC 268, Usman versus Covington 2. And we will begin the proceedings with the man around whom this fight card was built, the consensus best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, the undisputed UFC welterweight champion, the Nigerian nightmare, Kamaru Usman. £169, the official weight for the champion, Kamaru Usman. All right, next athlete to the scale, one of the more beloved fighters in UFC history, the future Hall of Famer, 8th ranked bantamweight contender and former lightweight champion, Frankie Edgar. $135.6, the official weight for Frankie Edgar. All right, next fighter to the scale is the undisputed UFC strawweight champion, Thug Rose Namajunas. £115, the official weight for the champ, Thug Rose Namajunas. All right, next fighter to the scale. Fan base excited to see this man back on the proven ground, the former UFC interim lightweight champion, Justin Gaethje. Official weight 155.6 for Justin Gaethje. All right, next fighter to the scale, charged with kicking off the prelims live on ESPN News, the number 11 ranked middleweight in the world, Edmund Shahbazian. $185.4, the official weight for Edmund Shahbazian. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing live on pay-per-view tomorrow night in the UFC's featherweight division. He is New York's own Billy Quarantillo. Official weight 145.4 for Billy Q. Thank you, buddy. See you soon. All right, we will stay in the featherweight division as we welcome our next athlete competing in a prelim live on UFC Fight Pass, Melsik Bagdasaryan. $145.4, the official weight for Melsik Bagdasaryan. All right, next fighter to the scale. They don't come much more popular around these parts than this guy, back for the first time in a long time. Raging Al Iaquinta. $155.8, the official weight for Al Iaquinta. All right, moving on now to the UFC's light heavyweight division as we welcome John Allen. £205, the official weight for John Allen. All right, next athlete to the scale, 14th ranked in the UFC's featherweight division and competing live on pay-per-view tomorrow. You know this man, Monroe, New York's Hurricane, Shane Burgos. 145.6, the official weight for Shane Burgos. All right, next fighter to the scale. He is one half of the featured prelim on ESPN News in the UFC's middleweight division and set to make his UFC debut here tomorrow, Alex Pereira. $185.8, the official weight for Alex Pereira. All right, next fighter to the scale, also making his UFC debut here tomorrow in the UFC's middleweight division, Chris Curtis. The official weight, 186 pounds for Chris Curtis. All right, next fighter to the scale in the UFC's heavyweight division, Chris Barnett. $263.8, the official weight for Chris Barnett. All right, next fighter to the scale, UFC lightweight division staple, Bobby King Green. $155.2, the official weight for the King, Bobby Green. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in the UFC's welterweight division, live on UFC Fight Pass, Jordan Williams. Official weight for Jordan Williams, 170.6. All right, next up, we welcome an oncoming force in the UFC's middleweight division, Phil Hawes. .185.4, the official weight for Phil Megatron Hawes. All right, next fighter to the scale is the former UFC strawweight champion and now the #1 ranked contender, Magnum Zhang Weili. Sorry. Official weight 115 pounds for Zhang Weili. Your UFC strawweight championship rematch is official. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing live on pay-per-view tomorrow. The 13th ranked bantamweight in the world out of Ecuador, Marlon Cheeto Vera. £135, the official weight for Cheeto Vera. All right, next fighter to the scale with much fanfare, set to make his UFC debut live on Fight Pass tomorrow in the UFC's welterweight division. He is undefeated. He is the future Ian Garry. 169.6, the official weight for Ian Gary.
There we are. What is up, everybody? There we go. Welcome to the UFC 268 official weigh-ins. If you are just now joining us, a little bit noisy in here. Apologies for that. But that's just how it goes. So, we have already seen the champions. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Sorry about that. Okay, hold on. Okay. Good for now. All right, hold on.
All right, next fighter to the scale in the UFC's flyweight division, Ode Osborne. $125.2, the official weight for Ode Osborne. All right, next fighter to the scale, former world title challenger, the 5th ranked lightweight in the world and competing live on pay-per-view tomorrow night, Iron Michael Chandler. Official weight 155.2 for Michael Chandler.
All right. Got two out of the way. Two more out of the way. As I was saying before the interruption, it's the fighters. Both champions have weighed in. All good. No weight misses yet. Whaley needed the towel box for 0.2, just 0.2, which was just her top 5 weights. Either way, not any real trauma there, Mr. Atkin. And you're asking about the Whaley trauma? Nothing real serious, real crazy. But Kamaru Usman came out first. I believe Rose was third. Champs ready to go. Michael Chandler just hit the scale. along with Ode Osborne. So every fight on the main card is good to go, green light, except for the main event. Still waiting on Mr. Covington. So he will be here whenever he decides. So we are at the 34-minute mark. Still have an hour and 26 minutes to go. Potentially. That is just the window the fighters remaining have left. And as you can see on the screen, Colby.
All right, next fighter to the scale is the other man around whom this entire fight card was built, the former UFC interim welterweight champion and the #1 ranked welterweight contender, Colby Chaos Covington. $169.4, the official weight for Colby Covington. Your UFC 268 main event is official.
All right, so right as I said that, Colby Covington comes out and makes the main event official. You'll love to see it. All right. So the entire main card is good to go. Thus leaving Andreas Mihailidis, Nasruddin Imavov, Jean Vellante, Dustin Jacoby, Una Souza, and CJ Vergara. So, in the meantime, during this less than dramatic UFC 268 official weigh-ins, any questions? Floor is yours, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. Support SCMP MMA. Been here all week, providing you the best coverage here on the ground. Live streams, video content, wonderful writing from Mr. Tom Taylor and Nick Adkin. Shout out to the boys holding it down in Hong Kong as well as Canada. We're all over the world. I love to see it. So, yeah. Cameo from Mr. Jose Young. Among the remaining fights, there's one side. There isn't a fight left out of fighters to weigh in, where both need to weigh in, if that makes sense. So it is one from each side out of the remaining that you see on the list. Again, not even to the hour mark yet. So first half generally goes pretty quick. So plenty of freedom here to discuss whatever you would like. Again, thank you to those tuning in. Whether it's now, in the future, in the past, we appreciate you. Whether on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, your view matters. Your vote matters. See, I don't necessarily just want to sit here and bring up random things, so I might pop out here for a minute, but I'll be here the whole time. Anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Just this. All right, Tommy. I won't go. And get better, man. Tom is a little bit sick this week. But don't you worry, everybody. Next month will be a banger. Tag team action. Travel Bug asking for an update on what? What would you like to know? As you can see on the screen, we are still waiting for Andreas Mihailidis, Nasser Imavov, John Vellante, who it's going to be his retirement fight. I think he announced that yesterday or sometime this week. Justin Jacoby, Bruno Souza, CJ Vergara. Everyone has made weight, Travel Bug. No weight misses. So that's great. And hopefully none to come. But main event, yep. We had Colby just weighed in at 169.4. So that's good. And then Colby opened the show at 169 even. So there you go. Sepulot saying everyone he's talked to recently has had a bad cold. Well, that time of year, I guess. I know. I've had a little bit of a cough this week as well. I blame the climate changes for me going from Florida last week, very humid, about 80s, then to Washington for 4 days, Washington State, back home, no humidity whatsoever, about 60s, and then to here in New York where it's 40s. My body can't handle this. Tommy's asking, speaking of Imavov, you think it's over for young Edmund? 3-fight skid after tomorrow. I believe it will be a 3-fight skid after tomorrow. I think Imavov looked fantastic in his last fight. TKO and Heinisch. You don't see that very often. If ever. Was that the first time that Heinisch had been finished? I don't know. Either way, Imavov looked great. So, and obviously Edmund has not recently. I don't know if I'd say it's over for him necessarily, but if he's still with Edmund, clearly need to not be. So, Edmund obviously I think still has plenty of potential, still very young, but definitely got fast-tracked. And it was probably justifiable, honestly, if you look at kind of the path he took and how he was winning, who he was beating, that kind of thing. Seemed fair, but just got set back real roughly, I guess you'd say, against Brunson. But also, I guess, if you look at the path and stylistically, they were kind of in his favor. So. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not ready to say that. We'll see how he looks tomorrow, but I am taking Imavov for sure. He looked very good in his last fight. So, yeah. How about a question for you guys? Out of all the fights, I think it's fair to say, I mean, at least for me, Chandler and Gaethje is perhaps the greatest matchup of all time on paper. I love it. I love it so much. It's such a dream fight for me. I'm so happy that we're getting to see it. I really did not think it would ever happen. I wrote an article actually about, what was it, 2019, I think, where I was making a prayer to the MMA gods, asking for this fight to happen. And at the time, I think they were both outside of the UFC. At least Chandler was, obviously. I don't know if Gaethje still was at that point. But they listened. The MMA gods listened to me. They answered my prayer. I appreciate it so much. So my question for you guys is, which fight is being, or I guess what's the kind of sleeper pick for fight of the night? What would you take as the sleeper pick? And I have an answer as well, but I'll wait for you guys. Nick is asking, how's New York treating me? I mean, it's been okay. Hasn't treated me badly, I guess. Hasn't treated me greatly yet. I'm able to get into some antics tonight. We'll see. But compared to last time, I don't know. Last time I was here was for 244, which was the last time UFC was here, actually. Masvidal Diaz. I don't know. This time I just kind of realized that I really don't like this city. Like, I don't hate the city, but I can't imagine how people live here. It is not for me. I feel very claustrophobic. Kind of more so in Jersey, where I'm staying, right across the bridge. But you'd have to pay me a lot of money to live here. I don't know. I don't like it. Everything's so tight. And it's funny because I love Shanghai, but I don't know. New York is not doing it for me this time around. I just told you. It's too tight. I need some space. All right. Tom saying he thinks Gaethje versus Chandler ends fast and would love a war, but don't think we get it. Don't say that, man. I'll be so upset if it's like within a minute. I can totally see that because of kind of how they're talking about it. But man, I really hope not. These guys, I guess that makes sense though, because they've been in so many wars before this. Like, holy shit, the amount of amazing fights they've had, and now they're fighting at this stage. Probably less likely, I'll give you that. But I sure hope not. I'm sorry about this echo, guys. I don't know why this is happening. It might be these headphones, which I'm going to load. This is just so I can hear if that's happening. So yeah, dropping that volume. Nick says, I think Whaley Rose can be a barn burner. I fucking hope so, man. I hope it is what I thought it would be the first time around, which was a longer fight. I predicted Whaley by like 4th, 5th round stoppage, I think, in the first fight. I don't know if I feel comfortable saying that again, but I hope it makes it around there. And if it does, it's not going to be boring. Like, there's no way. There's just zero chance. And hold me to it right now, everybody. If this fight goes long and sucks, it is my fault, but I would be stunned. Tom saying Burgos Quarantino for Fight of the Night Sleeper. I'm not sure that's really a super pick, though. I mean, I think it is. It's on the main card, but it's completely overshadowed by the other fights, which is totally fair. I mean, Frankie and Cheeto could be if Frankie can, if his chin can hold up, but we'll see. For me, man, and I said this for Craig on Fight Night Picks the other day. I think the sleeper pick for Fight of the Night for me is Chris Barnett versus Sean Vellante. And by no means is that fight going to be the best on the card, especially technically or anything like that. It'll be a disaster. But entertainment-wise, I think that's a really good sleeper pick. In a really bad or a good way. So that's how I'm feeling. James, good to see you, my friend, moderator over at the WMA Today podcast. Shout out to you. Says that was a scary one with Whaley. Big problem that she was over 0.2. No, I don't think so. It was the close. It was just the close. It was pretty hilarious though that they were saying, telling her to take off her mask. Like it might have been enough. And look who it is.
What's up?
Big Dog himself. In the chat, coming in. Yeah, I hear you.
You like my plant?
Yes, beautiful. Better background than what you normally have.
Yeah, I know, right? I should just sit on my sofa normally, huh?
So wonderful. Well, you finally made it, and you're not even at your computer. Are you on your computer?
Oh, yeah, I'm on my computer. Sorry.
Okay.
Because you were saying, like, come and join, and I thought you meant just in the chat. And then I realized, oh, shit, I can keep my man. I'll jump on the screen, yeah. So.
I always meant this. This is what I've meant from the beginning.
Sorry, yeah. Dude, I wasn't thinking straight. So,
that is hilarious.
Let's talk some shit, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk some shit. Pretty much. That was the main idea because I'm controlling everything here, yeah.
All right.
And so yeah, you can control the comments and stuff. You sound pretty good to me.
All right.
But yeah, good enough. All right, yeah. So what are we working with here? James is here. Good to see you, James. He said she made weight, but lots of drama. No, it wasn't lots of drama. I mean, it might have looked that way on screen, and I took the video clip.
I was texting Tom saying, "What's going on with Wei Lee? Like, shit, do we need to write a story? Like, is there some crazy stuff going on?" He's like, "Nah, she just needed a towel."
Yeah. I mean, it was 0.2. Like that might be the tiniest amount I've ever seen. And where they're like, you got to get on because champ weight, you got to be 115 exactly. But it wasn't much. It was kind of.
I had no idea what's going on. Like, what's the process for that? Why do you have that thing?
Yeah, because for title fights, you have to be the number of the weight or lower. You don't get the extra pound, allowance.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so that was all that was. So like if this wasn't a title fight, if it wasn't a title fight, then they wouldn't have done that. So yeah, it was nothing. Yep, she was in good spirits afterwards still, so all good. Our boy Tommy saying there's going to be
about that if you can.
Right. Yeah, after she wins. There's going to be a swarm of angry New Yorkers waiting for me outside. Hey now. Well, I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah, I tipped off my boy Macaulay Culkin to come and beat me up.
Is he living here? Or is that a Home Alone joke?
No, he lives. Do you not know my Macaulay story, man? I must have told you.
No, I don't think so. Here we go. Great time for it.
Well, I went to uni with. So my friend is married to Napoleon's brother, Kieran Culkin, who's in Succession on HBO. And,
right.
When I went to New York,
good actor.
Yeah, I met them. I met them all. I mean, I met both the brothers in one night. It was Macaulay's birthday. I spent the whole night drinking whiskey at Macaulay Culkin's apartment till 5 a.m. and talking about wrestling. It was fantastic. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. It was like the best time of my life.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. That's kind of sad in that way.
Yeah, I know. I peaked too early.
Right. Have to run into him again. Oh, man.
Yeah. He gave me a list of the top 5 pizzerias to visit in New York. He wrote it down on a little bit of paper, and I dropped it on the floor the next day. It was a sad scene.
Yeah, big bummer. Tom said he can't hear you very well. Nick, I hear you pretty fine, but that's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
I can jump on my mic and things if you want.
Might as well.
Yeah, why not?
Ghost is here. All right, I'll keep reading the comments while you get in there. Ghost is here.
Dragon Waters, so we're all good.
Oh, perfect. He says his favorite pick is the GOAT, John Vellante, but he's joking about Vellante versus Barnett. So are you picking Barnett in that case, Ghost? What do you mean? Let me know. Tom asks, does he need to grow his hair and beard back out to match you hippies? Is this the official SCMP look? I guess so. I guess it is. I mean, you got the beard going, man. You've had the beard going. Good point, Sepulati says Nick is quiet because of the background noise from me. Yes, apologies. I need to figure out some way to actually use my good mic in these settings, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. And since I only would need that for here at weigh-ins, I don't know if I will. It's generally not as loud here, so I apologize.
Great, we can. Oh, you've already muted it, haven't you?
Yeah. It's going. It's strictly from my headphones. Yeah.
Yeah, bullshit headphones.
I know.
You need to get some of the AirPods.
Yeah, I guess so.
Christmas present. Anyone wants to buy a drink?
Yes.
AirPod.
Hook your boy up for next time. Hey, Christmas is coming up, and it was just my birthday. It was just my birthday 5 days ago. So come on, late birthday present, guys. All right.
Oh shit.
Oh, there we go.
I'm in.
There we go. All right. Yeah. Question from Sammy. Good to see you, Sammy.
What's up, Sammy?
Man, he is asking, is it a bad thing that Whaley was 0.2 over and had to use the curtain? We pretty much just addressed this. I know she still made weight, but BT Sports seems to say that was an issue. This is pretty new to me. Yeah,
fuck BT Sport. Yeah, no.
But there you go. There you go. Yeah, no, Sammy, that's funny. But yeah, it was nothing. Like I was saying, I think probably before you got here, it was for title fights you have to be exactly on the weight, and 0.2 was literally just her clothes, and that's a very, very tiny decimal. So it was nothing, I would say.
I wonder how much my clothes weigh. Like, would it be 0.5? I've got quite a thick flannel shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
Might be,
yeah, probably
a little bit more.
You're telling me you've never tested that, Nick?
I wouldn't have made the weight either way.
115? Probably not.
Yeah, no, probably not. Maybe 215. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. What do we got? Ghost saying this fight is full of bangers except for that John Vellante somehow snuck his way in. No pick, just sarcasm for a sleeper, barn burner. Hey, man. Nick, did you hear my explanation for why I think that's a low-key kind of banger?
Yeah, a little bit. But you can say it again, bro.
I just think it'll be, sloppy nonsense in a very good or very bad way. Either way, fairly entertaining. I mean, come on, Chris Barnett, guy's ridiculous. Vellante, I don't know how he's still in the UFC, but he's retiring, so apparently, so good for him.
Apparently.
But we'll see.
But there's I've forgotten about half of the prelims, but there's some great fights on there, man. Like, just watching these weigh-ins on the stream here earlier, I was like, shit, I didn't even know that Iaquinta was on the card. I mean, I do, but I forgot. It's just so many names on here, man. It's going to be a bunch of great fights. I'm going to try and tune in from the beginning for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Pereira is the last one.
Yeah.
And then the opener for the ESPN, or the second prelims, whatever. Edmund's on that one now, and against Imavov, where Tom mentioned. Both middleweight fights, so those are going to be good. Chris
Who's with Phil? Is anyone from Phil Hall is a Sanford guy?
I think so. I didn't.
Is Ongla prowling the corridors of Madison Square Garden or what?
I haven't seen him. I haven't seen Angla all week, but I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think he did kill his last fight. So I'm not sure. Ong's a big dude.
He might have been out here, and I just wasn't looking at him. You know,
Ongla he's definitely a future coach. I think he's going to transition quite easily into that role. He's just like the most positive man on earth.
Yeah, would not be difficult, that's for sure. Sepulat asking, where do they put the press during the fights? Is it a good viewing area or is it some back room with TVs? Oh, UFC is incredibly generous when it comes to the floor seating, but Sepulat, not everybody gets to be on the floor, but if you do have that access, then for 266, I was right behind the blue corner, like right in the middle. You can see me when Ortega and that was Murphy. You can see me right behind them, so that's good for the seats. But then the actual media area where all the fighters come back to is in a different room, obviously. So kind of both of the things that you're asking. Some people get both of those, but as for floor seating, it's good and right in front of the cage. So, but there are TVs in the back room as well, where all the fighters go back and we speak to them after they win and whatnot. So, yep, that's how it goes. Tom asking, which underdog do you guys think has the best shot tomorrow other than Rose? Funny she flipped, Nick. What do you think about that? That she's the underdog now, just this week.
Rose is the underdog?
Yeah.
Why?
Hey, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think she's minus 200, but she's plus 200, but she's plus 100 maybe. She flipped this week.
Well, that makes no sense. I remember watching Chael's video, and I think he was freaking out that Rose is the underdog, and that makes sense now, actually. There's no way Rose should be the underdog for this. Given what happened in the first fight, you cannot say she's the underdog, man. I would go as far to say that's criminal.
Yeah.
Zhang Weili is definitely the underdog. Zhang Weili has everything to prove in this fight. Can Zhang Weili make this a fight? Can she actually take this 5 rounds? Can she push Rose all the way? I think if it goes 5 rounds, I think Zhang Weili is going to win. It could be a tight one. It could be a split decision. That's my opinion. Or Rose is going to spark her again. That's it. But the interesting thing for me is you've got 2 rematches here in the top 2 fights in this card. And you've got Colby v. Usman, you've got Rose v. Weili, and you've got 2 losers from those first 2 fights who have both got a point to prove, and they both have made excuses. Let's not cut it any other way. They have made excuses. They've said, "Oh, this was what happened. The referee stopped it too early." They both said things like, "Now is the time to prove it. Let's see what happens." This is why we love this sport. I love this game. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. I'm very excited for that fight. As well, as I mentioned earlier, Chandler Gaethje is one of my dream fights. So that is taking top precedent over this one. But of course, I'm very, very excited for this rematch, even though I still don't agree with it happening right now. But I'm definitely happy to see it hopefully go longer. And yeah, hard to disagree with what you said. I mean, I could see Weili catching her early as well, but it seems less likely. Just because we've never seen Rose really stopped quickly at any point, have we? So it'll be very interesting.
I mean,
that is.
What was the Andrade is the outlier, isn't it? Like the head slam, the KO, the
yeah. And when Carla beat her, it was when Carla beat her, it was a 3rd round submission after kind of dominating her with the wrestling.
I don't think Weili's going to have much fun on the feet. Like that's why. Look, she's going with Cejudo. I think we know. We've got a good idea of what she's going to try and do.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair to say as well. But I mean, she was looking. I know it was only about 70 seconds before she got kicked in the head, but she looked very sharp in that first minute on the feet. But Yeah, I mean, incorporating and maybe attacking with the wrestling a lot earlier seems like a given. But like when I asked Rose on media day, like, is that almost too obvious, Nick? Like, we expect her to wrestle now, so will she actually make it obvious like we expect it to be? You know, I don't know. It's very tricky in that regard.
4D chest.
Right.
Yeah.
Which kind of adds the elements and makes this all the more exciting. So
It does.
that is-
I'm really hyped for this. I know last week's card was amazing as well, but
right.
I'm more excited for this, partly because it's at a time that is watchable for me. It's at 10 in the morning. Last one was at 3 in the morning, so
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more game. No, I'm super hyped for this. Look, Drake. We're gonna find out. We're gonna get definitive answers. I think. Who is better, Rose or Weili, Colby or Usman? There will be no more excuses after this. Weili and Colby can't bitch and moan if they both lose again, right?
Yeah,
And
I mean,
if they win, we get trilogies, and then I'm down for that too.
yeah, those would be fun as well.
Poor old Carla Esparza's like stuck in purgatory, and
Her and Marina.
Yeah. But look, Joanna's there. Joanna needs to take up a fight, man. She needs to accept a fight. I know she wants more money, she wants title fights, but I think Joanna Jędrzejczyk's got to fight either Carla or Marina. I'm sorry, this isn't a thing where you pick and choose only title fights. This is the business. This is the way the UFC works. This is the way MMA works. The way promotions work. There are rankings. You can sit out if you want. She's been removed from the rankings, so it's fine if she wants to do that. But I don't think she's going to get crazy money if she wants to come back and fight Marina or Carla.
Yeah, I mean, best case for her there would be like probably one of these fancy non-main event 5-rounders, which we've literally only seen for the Diaz brothers, right? And I don't know if they'd be willing to do that. And I mentioned that because it's kind of still speculation, but the thought behind it is that you get paid more in 5-rounders. That's kind of the theory as to why. According to Pat Auger, shout out to him, and he knows the business. But that's kind of a big reason why the Diaz brothers both went for that. I don't care what you say. The Diaz brothers don't get better as the fight goes on. They don't win the late rounds. I don't care who you are, what you say.
Excuse me.
Even though I guess Nate literally did do that in the 5th round, but still, it's a myth, I think. So
you're a myth.
Yeah, well, the man, the myth, the legend. It's funny though about the main event of this card, Nick, which you were mentioning, kind of the excuses and everything. Colby has done an incredible job of kind of bringing that narrative to light about all these things that happened, which I totally forgot about, like the eye poke and the fake nut shot and whatever. Which I don't know about all that stuff, but because it's like he got finished still. He definitely got finished. It was a fair stoppage.
Credit to him. He pushed Usman further than I've seen anyone push Usman, especially recently. So we have to give Colby his flowers. Is that what they say? Give him his props. He definitely pushed Usman. I don't think it's going to go the same way. I think Usman's going to finish Colby in within 2 rounds this time, and he's going to put the whole thing to bed. That's my prediction. I'm coming in strong here, coming in hot.
There we go. The guy who avoids his predictions.
Well, look, I think Usman, man, has just improved so much, even since that fight. But for me, that fight against Colby, the first one, was the first time we saw Usman like really go with his striking, and that was all on Henry Hooft. And then Usman moved to Coach Trevor Whitman, right? And Whitman's taken his striking to an even higher level, and it's like levels to this shit, as they say. I think Usman is going to have way too much for Colby. If Colby's going to strike this time, I think Usman's going to finish him. If Colby goes to the wrestling, we'll see what happens. But as we know, Usman
we got somebody next.
All right, I'll shut the hell up. Get back on it.
John Vellante. 260.6, the official weight for John Vellante.
The body transformation of John Vellante has been incredible to see. My oh my.
He literally has the same.
What's that you cut out?
Oh, I put it all in. Sorry, I got the wrong comments on there. I'm saying John Vellante has the body, the same body as I do, the same figure. It makes me happy that I have an athletic body and I can too compete in MMA.
Well, Nick, you are an athlete. You're on the Speckled Men, whatever your team's name is called, right?
The old Speckled Man.
The old Speckled Men.
I tore my groin, unfortunately, about a month ago. I've been out of action for a while. So
Brutal. Were you guys winning at least?
There's been some mixed results, but my comeback begins on November 21st. I'm playing in a charity tournament for South China Morning Post. It's the Operation Santa Claus.
His middleweight division, Andreas Michailidis. £185, the official weight for Andreas Michailidis.
Oh man, Tom absolutely killing me with this comment here.
Hey, I've given up pizza. I'm on keto again, so no pizza for me. We could have cauliflower crust if John's down for that. But
I've never had that, but it sounds very good. I love cauliflower.
No, it sounds horrible.
Yeah. Well, what they also have for on Hot Ones, they'll do for the vegan people, instead of chicken wings, they'll do it like on cauliflower or whatever. It's like, that sounds a little bit weird. Have you seen that?
It's not for me. I'll say that.
Where's Leon?
I've already done.
Leon Jennings.
Where's Leon when you need him?
Yeah. He was raving. He was ranting and raving earlier in the WhatsApp group.
Oh, really?
Oh no, that was from the other day. I was reading his messages from yesterday. He sent like 100 messages. I was just catching up.
I know. He's the one who also.
Hilarious.
He called Chris the C word, and then Chris.
As he would.
You can hear that I.
Things get feisty.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody. We are officially over the hour mark. An hour and 12 into this thing. Everybody on the main card has weighed in, and almost everybody on the second portion of the prelims still waiting for Nasruddin Imavov, as you can see there on the screen. Jacoby, Bruno Souza, CJ Vergara. Just those four remaining. So,
did I miss Colby? Did Colby come in?
Yes, I think Colby was. Yeah, he was right before you hopped in. He was.
All right. I went up to my roof for a smoke, and
yeah.
I was admiring my plants. I was watering them. It's been a hot day in Hong Kong.
Plants outside, plant on the wall.
Yeah, got the greenery. You gotta
foliage.
It's a concrete jungle here. You gotta remind yourself of some of nature's beauty.
Ain't that the truth? So I'm also saying John Vellante already rocking the retirement bod.
Retirement
Looking
bod.
like a truck driver.
Yeah, that's what I've got. The retirement bod. Yeah.
Planning ahead. It's all he's doing.
Yeah. I'm retiring early. Yeah. Just get this SCMP MMA off the ground, and then off to retirement.
There we go.
Yeah.
And going back through some of these comments, James says Nate Diaz has never been KO'd though. Correction, sir. He was knocked out by Josh Thompson. But we're not counting that because the corner threw in the towel.
Did they?
Yeah. I mean, I think that it was getting stopped like as it happened anyway, but nice to see. Nice to see.
I don't remember.
Yeah. It's back in the day. Caleb asked this as you did. Yeah, Colby did weigh in a little bit ago. 169.54 for former interim champion.
Yeah, man, it seems kind of drama-free, right? We haven't had any drama.
Nope, nobody has missed weight. Yeah, which was very minor, but that's about it.
You know, how
Which
often
is a
do
good
you
thing,
get,
right?
like, people over under some drama?
You cut out there again, Nick. What'd you say?
Oh, yeah. How often when you come to these events does someone miss weight? Is it one every time? What's the likelihood?
Honestly, I think, man, since I've been doing it here for SCMP, I think there's only one event. Which one was it? Might have been Jacksonville. I don't know. I feel like there's only been one weight miss in this last stretch of UFCs for a good while, which is nice, pretty impressive. But it doesn't very much happen with UFC. For Bellator, every single time somebody misses weight, like it's just a promise. Like they do it on purpose almost. Yeah, but UFC's
and for once, it never happens because we never see it.
Well, yeah, well. It was funny at the PFL last week. Everybody gives one shit for that, not letting them people into the weigh-ins or see the weigh-ins, but PFL does the same thing, you know. And
yeah,
we didn't get to go into the official weigh-ins. Yeah. So a little bit lack of transparency, but they did at least. There were some fighters, Jenna Fabian, Abby Montez. They had their corners like filming it, so they at least let them film it. So that's better. We can see that they weighed in, but for some reason the commission wouldn't let us in for whatever reason. So
it's interesting if one. In Colorado, do you think they're going to have weigh-ins officially? Are they going to be rules? Do they have a commission now?
I think they'd have to. I mean, it's ultimately up to Colorado, right? But I don't know how they typically go about, doing that with other promotions. And I know the UFC has been to Colorado, but it's ultimately on them. Like if one's like, hey, can we not do this? Then it's going to be Colorado's call. So I hope they do. I think that'd be great for multiple reasons, but we'll see. That's a gamble and risk that see if one's willing to take as well, right?
Well,
yeah.
We'll have to send you there, Drake, and our intrepid reporter Tom Taylor as well. So
indeed,
look forward to that. I need to get another dragon water. Can you hold the fort? Yeah.
Of course. That's all I do, man. Go refill. Yes.
All right.
All right. In the meantime, our boy here, Tommy T, as Nick just mentioned. He's asking, you guys think Colby is in Usman's head? No, I would not say so. There's no reason to be, I don't think, having beaten him already. And yes, I was very competitive, and I believe I did have Colby winning going into the 5th round. I know the scorecards were all over the place. So it was, it is what it is. And then all the controversies that have been made up or blown up, however you want to look at it. I don't think so. I don't see why Usman would be rattled by a guy who talks a whole bunch and that he already beat. I think it's probably just more of an annoying thing for him than anything, but he's handling it very well, I thought, yesterday anyway, and then just all the way up until this point. Which is
back pictures.
There we go.
Yeah,
so
I just raspberry flavor this time.
Ooh, man, you're making me jealous. Yeah. I just answered this question from Tom, where he's asking about Colby being in Usman's head. I wanted to hear what you think, Nick, because I really don't think so. I don't see there's no reason for him to look like. Why would he be bothered?
Absolutely not in Usman's head. If anything, Usman said, Usman lives rent free in Colby's head. We've seen that over the last 2 years, pretty much since the first fight. Colby's obsessed with getting this rematch, and Colby's been the one calling for it. Usman has no need to rematch Colby. He's doing it out of the goodness of his heart, and I honestly believe he's gonna beat Covington again very handily. And Usman's just lapping guys now. He's just rematching guys he's beaten already. There is no reason for him to take this match. He's going to beat Colby again, I'm pretty sure. There is no way Colby is in Usman's head. Usman is making as much money as he can. Colby's a good match in terms of generating some hype.
You can see live on ESPN News as we welcome Nasruddin Imavov. $184.6, the official weight for Nasruddin Imavov.
All right, so that leaves 3, and then there were 3. So Sephilat says we're not fans of puns around here. I must have missed it. I'm multitasking quite a lot, Sephilat. Which pun are you speaking of? What did I miss, Nick?
I don't know. Tell us, Sephilat, which pun? I love puns. I make them.
Yeah.
I love plays on words things.
We're very funny over here at SCMP.
Sephilat, by the way, I hear it's really cold in Canada, so I hope you're wrapped up warm. Tom was moaning about it earlier. He's freezing his ass off.
Well, Tom's sick, so of course he's cold.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a great question from James. He asks, did that Colby Whaley moment surprise you guys yesterday at the press conference he's talking about? He says he never thought that would happen. Nick, what did you think of that? I loved that. It was a fun little moment they had.
Yeah, you know what? It was pretty cool, man. I enjoyed that. And it sort of goes against that narrative of Whaley being this awful person who that there's stuff that I know Rose didn't intend to like vilify Whaley when she brought in the communism stuff, but that guy and pretty bad in Jacksonville. I don't think she's going to get booed as bad in New York, but we'll see. She might get booed out of the building, but she turned it into an America versus China thing. But you've got like to your left and your right, you've got 2 of the most like right-wing American guys in the UFC, and they both love Whaley and they gave her props, and that's all you need to hear, man. Like those guys think Whaley's the bomb, then no one needs to hate on Whaley, man. Colby and Michael Chandler both love her. We should all love her. She's a treasure to this sport. She's genuine she's wonderful. She's a great fighter. She's a great representative of mixed martial arts, and that's all that matters.
Yep, very well said. And yeah, just as for the booze, glad you mentioned that because I didn't really hear any for her yesterday at the press conference, which was really nice to not hear. You know, it was funny because when Jose asked about kind of her, because I don't know if you saw, Nick, I mean, we had a story on this on the website about her training for the negative atmosphere, right? She's been kind of preparing for that. And he kind of asked about that. And I was like, man, when you ask about that, I bet she's going to get booed. I bet she'll get booed, but she didn't. So they were actually, they were very kind to her and no boos or anything. I think all the boos were pretty much directed at either Colby or Usman, from what I recall. And but right when the fans came in, though, there were loud USA chants. So I was like, oh, here we go. But no, they were very kind to her. So yeah.
So it was more a Florida thing, or what?
I guess so, man. I mean, we'll see on fight night, right? But
mate, there's a huge Chinese population in New York, man, and I don't doubt that a bunch of them are going to have tickets to Madison Square Garden. So look, it's don't boo Weili just because she's Chinese. I hope that's not why people boo her. If you want to get behind Rose, cheer for Rose, yeah? That's fine. But look, Weili is a fantastic fighter, and let's just see these two girls go to war, and just hopefully we get a fight of the year. I think they can do it, like Rose and Zhang and Joanna went at it in Vegas. March 2020. I think we could have another fight of the year. But let's not boo anyone. We don't need to boo anyone. You know why? It doesn't make a difference. It's pointless. I think they're gonna boo Usman, which is even weirder. But I think Colby's gonna get the lion's share of the love in the crowd. If anything, if going by the press conference. But yeah.
I wonder if he's going to come out to Kurt Angle's theme song again. What do you think?
Yeah, why not? Kurt endorsed it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Look, I think that moment, like that James is pointing out here, where Colby, gave Weili a hug and she patted him on the head. It sort of shows he's a human, and a lot of his shtick is what it is. It's shtick. It's he's playing a gimmick, and like he said, he comes out to Kurt Angle's music. Professional wrestler from WWF back in the day. So a lot of what Colby does is playing to the crowd. So there's a pantomime element to it. Yeah. I'm not sure what my point was. But
no, I mean, he's a gimmick. I think this is fact at this point.
We know it. So. Yeah, we know it. I'm not saying anything new, but on the flip side of that, let's not forget how brilliant Kamaru Usman is, and if he wins again, we need to just give this man his props. And I honestly don't know who's next to him. If the only guy I can think of on the horizon is Khamzat, and we got to see. Well, I want to see Khamzat first against a few other people. But that fight is looming.
Nick, you've completely overlooked Leon Edwards, the poor guy.
Dude, I just think I think Khamzat beats Leon Edwards, and I think Khamzat beats Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I think he beats Gilbert Burns if they rematch. I don't see anyone else giving. I think Usman beats them all. I'm talking shit. Sorry. Obviously, Khamzat beats Gilbert. I think Usman beats Gilbert. Usman beats Stephen. He beats Leon. Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev is the fight to make, whether it's in a year or 2 years or it's 3 months. I just think they're going to get to that, and it's going to happen unless Kamaru retires or moves up. That's going to happen, and then we're going to see, man.
It's looking like that, but man, we haven't talked since last week about the fights and stuff, Nick. So you're sold on Khamzat after the way he literally carried the leech.
I was always sold on Khamzat. JHK tried to paint me as a bandwagoner and a
yes, he did.
Jumper.
Because he's the antithesis of that.
Yeah, but the way Khamzat manhandled the other guys, John Phillips and Reese McKee and Gerald Misha, there was something in it it was a little bit strange. It was like, okay, that's fucking crazy the way he's beating them up. So I mean, John Phillips fine. Reese McKee is really damn good, and I think he's gonna have a good career still. And Gerald Mearshot's no joke, we all know, and that was at middleweight. But I think the way then you saw he just picked up the Leech like he was a little baby, a toddler, carried him across the octagon, just manhandled him. That's what I said in my report. He picked him up, just put him down, and spoke to Dana White. It's crazy, man. This guy is the real deal. I have said this all along. I don't want him to rush this title fight. I would like to see the Leech pick off one by one everyone above him. Just ride this train, build some hype. The way they built up Conor McGregor, have him take out. I guess who's next? I don't know. Like, let's not go to Neil Magny. Neil Magny wants to do it. Let's have Magny.
Yeah.
And let's go Chiesa. Let's go one by one. Pick them all off. Then he finally gets to Kamaru Usman. It's going to be the biggest fight in welterweight history, I think. Yeah,
I mean,
let's hype it up.
I like that too, because the way that he wants to be so active too, right? It's like, all right, well, let him go through everyone. Why not? Let him try and be like
make some money off this guy before you put him.
Because let's say you give, just hypothetically, Nick, if he was to get the title shot next and then he loses, you ruin it.
Oh,
it's like long-term storytelling.
Great point. Yeah, long-term booking. Let's look at a long-term picture. Let's build up Usman. Get Usman just to lap everyone. Beat Edwards. He can beat Wonder Boy. He can beat Gilbert again. I mean, hypothetically, right? I'm not saying he's going to beat them, but if he does,
right,
then he's sitting on like insane statistics. He's a clear pound for pound number one in the UFC. He's probably maybe overtaken John Jones as like the GOAT in all of MMA at that point. And then you've got Khamzat, who's just picked everyone else off. And then you've got this unbelievable clash. And I think it is that sells a lot of money. That sells a lot of pay-per-views. That's my opinion. Please feel free to disagree.
the only problem with it is like Usman sticking around, right? Because like I don't think he's got one foot out the door, but like he's saying like, you know, the stuff about how he's been competing his whole life and everything. So I think he even said on media days, like, I'm not going to be around forever. Like,
yeah,
that's, you know,
I think, yeah, there's an element. Is he going to be around when Khamzat gets to the title? You know, does he see Khamzat coming? Does he, maybe Adesanya has moved up to light heavyweight properly by then, and then maybe Usman goes up to middleweight. He said, I won't go up unless Israel is not the champion anymore. It could be a convenient thing where everyone just goes up one division, then Khamzat can be the welterweight champion, Usman can be the middleweight champion, Izzy can be the light heavyweight champion.
That's some serious fantasy booking, Nick.
Yeah, you know, that's what I do.
We got Aljamain Sterling in the room, as you guys can see. The bantamweight champ, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. What are you working on that?
We're chatting with John Anik.
They've got to keep him. They got to keep. What did John Anik say?
About what? I just said he's with him.
Oh, I thought you said you were chatting with him.
No,
okay.
John's right there.
Oh, no, I now see it. John Anik is coming to the screen, yeah. I
Yes.
thought you were chatting with John Anik about Aljamain Sterling, sorry.
Oh, no. They're chatting to each other on our screen.
Yeah,
Yes.
John, I guess John Anik, you know, is too cool for you, Drake. He doesn't want to slum it with you, yeah.
I know. I mean, hey, we're tattoo bet losing brothers, so we got things in common here. But
well, Aljamain's a weird one, isn't it? It's that fight. I fully expect PDR to win that fight. I don't see that going any other way. That was an incredible fight against Sanhagen. Did you see Drake? Would you see PDR maybe lobbying to fight Dillashaw and say I'm the real champ, and then they can create some more drama before they do the Yan versus Aljamain?
I think that would be maybe probably a good idea business-wise, right, for everybody involved in that. Not that, which is everyone but Aljamain, but it's like, it seems so weird to maybe have an interim title defense like that before, when I think the timing should line up. Everything about this situation with the bantamweight title is all about timing, I think. So, like, when Aljamain's ready to come back, I guess when Jan's ready to come back, TJ as well, where all these moving parts fit in to one another. But I wouldn't be super surprised if, that does happen, Jan versus Dillashaw before, let's say Jan versus Sterling. But
he's got the neck problem, right?
Yeah, which, serious stuff there. But all right, another fighter coming up here real quick, you guys. So
all right, next fighter to the scale, competing in the UFC's light heavyweight division, the Hanyak, Dustin Jacoby. .203.6, the official weight for Dustin Jacoby.
all right, Dustin Jacoby at 203.6. Hitting the scale, the digital scale today, Nick. I love to see it. Get some nice accuracy there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's going on there?
I know. Thanks, New York. We rag on them so much, their commission, but they gave us the good scale today. So.
I mean, it behooves me, is that the right word, that they ever use a non-digital scale. You know what I mean? Surely the digital scale is the most accurate thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's
case in point, they have a scale in my gym, in the men's locker room, as you call it in America. We call it a changing room. And I tried to stand on it once to see how fat my ass was, and I stood on it. And I had a course. I'm like, what is this? How do you do it? I don't know. I just like to step on a scale, see a number, and then I've got some kind of idea of how overweight I am. Yeah.
I mean, they've been around for long enough now, right? So
I'm not
like there's some fancy new invention. I know. Come on. No, I meant the digital scale, not the old one.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I can go buy a digital scale for 20 pounds in Japan Home Center up the road. I can put it right on the floor there, and then we all know exactly what number it is. None of that stuff where someone's doing this shit. Yeah.
I know. All the little tapping. Yeah, good fun.
It's not for me.
No. But all right, James, I see you. I was going to get to this, but you're asking again. This is always fun to talk media stuff, right? So James is asking, what do you guys think of Brian Campbell saying the standard for MMA press is really low? And he says that I and Mike Vaughn did a great job. Appreciate you, sir. Nick, since you were not there, but you did see the wackiness of yesterday's press conference, do you agree with Mr. Campbell, your boy, BC?
Well, I didn't actually see all of the press conference, but I've seen the people responding to it, and I've kind of got the gist of there were some proper dilettantes there doing their thing and cutting promos. Yeah, it's true. I agree with BC. I used to work with BC at ESPN, and that guy is a real journalist. He's through a journalist. Is in MMA. I was on ESPN London desk. Brian Campbell was in Connecticut, and that man is as real as they come, and he's earned his Thomas And you know, he plays it up a little bit now. He's a bit of a showman more than he was then, but that's just his personality. He was always like that, and I'm glad he's getting the platform to do it. I 100% agree with him though. Standard in other sports, but I think that's because MMA is not at the same level as other major sports, like
barely a sport.
Whatever. Yeah, it's barely a sport. It's a bit of a who are they're not training in journalism, they're this and that, and MMA still wants to have people covering them. A lot of promotions like outside of the UFC are desperate for any kind of promotion at all, so they will accredit anyone who has a blog and things like that. Whereas, you know, the NBA, the NFL, whatever you have in America, and the Premier League football in England, only the cream of the crop, you know, media outlets will get accreditation for that. It's so hard to get something for, you know, a Manchester United versus Liverpool game or something like that. It's just because MMA is still relatively in its infancy, that you do get some jokers coming along and covering it. But, you know, there are other people have pointed out other things. You know, I mean, look at the Schmo. The man has made that gimmick.
Right,
He's run with
right.
the ball, man. And he's making money. He's so popular. He's getting interviews, one-on-ones with Dana. He's getting more access than, you know, people from real outlets. Cough, cough. Us, you know, SCMP. We can't even get Dana. We can't even get like
Trying.
one-on-ones. Yeah, but like, no, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying, like, we can't get these things, man. But the Schmo can get them because the dude's a likable fellow who gets a lot of traffic on YouTube, and then that spreads the holy gospel of UFC. And it's a strange one, man. It's there's a double-edged sword here. It's what the standard of the press is low, but then on the flip side, you've got people who aren't really journalists, but they're promoting the sport, and then that's good as well to see MMA promoted, because it all goes back to this sport being relatively new. And what do we want? Do we want to religiously kind of have only real journalists? You must show your journalism card when you walk in. I don't know. It's a tough one, man. But obviously, as an old school journo with two parents who are both journalists, I'm old school, man. I believe in training in journalism, and I believe in that kind of stuff. And you know, I've seen some people on press row at UFC events, like, who probably, you know, they didn't train, they don't deserve to be there on terms of like technicalities, but they deserve to be there because they love the sport and they promote it. It's such a difficult one, Drake. Do you have any thoughts? Sorry, I've just rambled on a little bit.
No, I love it, Nick.
I'm getting heated here.
Yeah, man, it's a very, very tricky thing, and it's funny because you mentioned like somebody like the Schmo, for example, who doing his thing and promoting himself in a lot of ways. But when you look at you know, like yesterday, for example, and I see a new one here mentioning a pink suit guy, as did Tom, but not his first time. But like the thing with what he did, you know, asking Colby the very antagonistic question that he did, is that I don't even know if that's self-promotion in that case. Like, he's just being an asshole to be an asshole. You know, like,
can you tell me what happened? All right, I didn't see it. What did he do?
Okay, so he essentially began his question by really propping Colby up and leading him. He essentially baited him with his lead up to making it sound like a really nice compliment and all this, and then flipped it to be like, if you are to somehow, well, I think he said lose or win. I think it was lose. I don't know, either. Whatever he said, if you were to somehow, like, just the way he worded it, and we've talked about this many times, Nick, like, wording is very important in regards to, you know, this kind of thing. And so he asked him that, and Colby was like stopping him because you could see where it was going, because Colby, you know, he's not as dumb as he might look or come off, you know, with his gimmick. But then the guy asked, will he like show his official x-rays from a like third party, like just ridiculous nonsense. And then they were like straight up going back and forth arguing. It was like, just you got to see it for yourself. It's a disaster, which is actually in our highlight video. I had to put that in there, but
yeah, I just it was at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. on my side of the world, and then I didn't watch it. I just saw all the crazy reaction on Twitter. I was like, I kind of got a gist of what happened, but it sounds like he was. There were a couple of weirdos there. It sounds like who were all trying to get themselves over Drake at the expense of talent.
I know. What a crossover it has been. But yeah, no, that shit is just so annoying, man. And
MMA is closer to pro wrestling than we all realize. You know, that's what I say. There's still a circus element.
Very much so. Yeah, I don't know what. It's a tricky thing to think about too. Like when everyone says, "What can we do about this?" and it's like, well, the UFC cannot let them in, right? But the UFC wants any type of. They want coverage, you know. So if these people are
like I think that the media days, you know, like you did a fantastic stream on the day before that. We had the media days, and there were real journalists there asking real questions. The press conference is a bit of a show. You know, it's a bit of Usman and Colby wore outlandish suits
with the fans there.
A bit of pizzazz, man. Yeah, it's with the fans there. It's kind of like that's probably why they encourage this ludicrosity. Is that a word? Ludicrousness.
It is now.
What is the word? Ludicrosity. That's the name of my new album or my band, isn't it?
I like it. Yeah. That can be our wrestling podcast name, Nick.
Yeah, ludicrosity. Well, yeah, it's true, man. It's like they want to play it up. They want to have a bit of nuttiness, man. They want to have some crazy shit going on. And it probably sold the fight more, you know. It probably sold the press conference. It probably got a bunch more views because some weird dude in a pink suit was asking some stupid questions, man. It is what it is. It's all a game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. If you go and watch yesterday's though, that was kind of just too much for me. Like I thought it was pretty funny when he first got famous, popular for being there was at Conor and Poirier 3, and he asked like Conor that he said he hasn't won a fight since Obama was president. Like interesting, wording to use right there. And then he's like, "What is going to be different?" I thought that was kind of funny. I enjoyed that.
Next athlete to the scale in the UFC's featherweight division, Bruno Souza. $148.4, the official weight for Bruno Souza.
All right, well, that is a weight mess here today.
Oh shit! We got a miss.
Here we go. You spoke it into existence, Nick.
The headline now. I want a yellow strap, ticker tape on the bottom there. Bruno Souza misses weight. Is that it?
Yep. There we go. 148.4 for Bruno Souza, who's taking on Melsik Bagdasaryan in the second fight of the night.
So how much did he miss it by? Sorry.
He missed by 2.4.
So he's not going away for an hour.
No, I mean he went right up there. He went right up there. So that leaves CJ Vergara, who is taking on Ode Osborne in the opening fight of the night. So these curtain jerkers here making us wait till the very end. Nick, we got 12 more minutes till the weigh-in window closes. That'd been a good time.
That sounds good.
I got some a decent amount of sleep.
Time the prelims start, man. It's like fucking very, very early for me. Yeah. What time is it for you there? I'll just add on 12 hours. No, you're 12 hours.
Yeah, East Coast. Let's see if the paper just says. Does not. Let me look at the email real quick.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna miss old Odie
Oh,
Oswald.
yeah. It'll be 6 p.m. Eastern time.
That's a no from me.
All
I'll
Odie.
join you for the preliminary card, not the early prelim.
All right, so the 8 p.m.
And when I say that, I'll probably join you for Alex Pereira.
Right.
I just like my sleep, Drake. I like to sleep.
Yeah, understandable. That's what I was saying. Was I feel pretty good this morning because I actually got decent sleep for last night. And, you know, weigh-in day or press conference day is always the worst because
I was
not
telling
always worst.
Tommy Taylor this earlier on when we went to Busan for fight night. I just slept through the weigh-in. I was so drunk. I got so pissed with John PHK the night before. We got rat-assed in some bar in downtown Busan. Yeah, I just woke up at like midday, had a stream of text from John. He's like, "Where are you, dude?" I'm like, oh, fuck. I'll see you at the ceremonials.
Yeah. That's hilarious. I can't imagine JK like plastered.
John can knock them back. You know, John is a solid drinker. We definitely got on it most of the week.
Very nice.
Yeah, dude is he can hold his weight. Yeah, we were both solidly tuning.
Very nice. Oh yeah. I know. I drink poor Tommy to shame. Can't
Gary
keep up.
Tonin getting in a street fight.
That happened in Busan?
Yeah, Tom Taylor can't drink. Yeah. Gary Tonin got in a street fight with some dudes from the club. He was telling me because he was cornering Ryan Benoit, and he just some guy was like, some local guy was just starting on these two girls, and then this guy like slapped this girl, and Gary like just fucking went to town as Gary Tonin does, you know? just took him down. It's a hilarious story. This was like right before it was literally like a week before I started this channel, and I really wish, because I was interviewing him, but it was on the phone, and I was like, oh, this is gold. I really wish you could tell this. One day I might ask him to relay the story again. Perhaps if he wins the title off Tanley, we can ask Gary for that story. If it
ever happens, Nick.
If that fight ever happens,
yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen, man. I think January. I think January in Colorado.
That'd be something. Where's Tom Lee based out of?
Oh, he's Louisiana, right? New Orleans, or he trains with Ryan Hall at the 50-50, is it? And then, but he was down with. They went to Jackson Wink for a bit. He was training with John Jones, and I was like, I'm not going to ask you about John Jones. It was right after the arrest.
Right.
I was like, I'm not going to be that guy who's like, what John Jones do? And then I just saw like Asian MMA just went in and like, did the John Jones thing. I was like, of course they did.
No way.
I'm a little bit more respectful, Drake.
Yeah, I think most might be. in that comparison, if we're going to be brutally honest here.
Trains at Jackson Wink. Yeah.
Ton Lee puts on super sexy bikini.
Ton Lee does training. Jackson Wink.
Exclamation point. Print. Done. Send.
Everything's got an exclamation point. No.
Oh yeah. My goodness.
If you ever put an exclamation point, I am going to punch you in the face. You never need to do it. It's a fake thing. It's not anything you ever need to write. It's not. Get it out. Throw it away. It's something that you reserve for fiction, and yeah, I'm adamant, Drake.
All right, you heard it here, folks.
Just take it out and put a full stop. Put a full stop. You don't need
It's funny that you.
Point, man.
It's funny you mentioned that because I don't think I can't remember ever using an exclamation point in a story.
I would have told you. If you did, I would have said,
yeah.
What the fuck is this? Stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out.
Good. Yeah. Slap me around a bit.
Oh, well, I would have given you a Stockton slap. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
I would have Kamayev you, like, picked you up, carried you over across the cage.
Yeah.
You would have known. You would have felt my wrath.
Nothing pisses off Nick more than an exclamation point.
It's true. It's true, man. Don't need it.
Oh, man. James commenting about Whaley's jacket yesterday, which I didn't realize until kind of seeing the pictures afterward. But yeah, she was swagging out with the dust of the gods. Did you see this, Nick? We could maybe pull it up here.
I just saw on some kind of social platform before I jumped on this. Actually, I did see it. Yeah, it looked good. Yeah. But you want me to get it? Where is it?
Let's see.
Instagram or what?
Yeah, I think it should be. Okay. Might be on the UFC page.
Let me find it.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. No, that's not. She doesn't put anything on her own Instagram. It's always like other people and shit.
Yeah, I know she's been a lot more reserved since she became champion.
Like, Whaley, post some stuff. I don't know, man. I can't find it. You know.
Here, I'll do
it
for everyone. I got it. Let's see, actually, if I can.
I found it. Can we do it?
Nope. Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. If I share the screen, though, will it cut out your cheeky stream of the weigh-ins?
No, it'll still be on here. I think it'll just go into a side box with us.
Kind of Zhang Weili fan page. So there's a jacket. Yeah, pretty swag.
Yeah, style.
What does it mean, Drake? Dust of God.
I think it's I don't know if it's a Bruce Lee thing. I'm not sure. James might know. James, big Whaley fan. Feel free to give us the exact story behind this if you know it, sir. That looks cool. Looks very cool. Obviously, her with the belt on the back.
Here is Whaley making weight.
There we go. Very happy. All right, we're about to get CJ Vergara up in here, so I'll full screen this, Nick.
Yep.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in the UFC's flyweight division and making his debut here tomorrow night, CJ Vergara. 127.4 for CJ Vergara.
Oh dear.
Make that 2 weight misses at the very end here.
Yes, sir. Good hair, though.
No, wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
To pull a Ray
Incredible.
Cooper, and he would have made it.
Yeah. He might have.
Too late now. But, all right, that concludes today's weigh-ins, everybody. 2 weight misses there at the end for CJ Vergara and what was it? Not Bruno. Was it Bruno? Yeah, Bruno Souza, 148.4 for him. And featherweight.
All right, and now weighing in as an alternate for our UFC Welterweight Championship main event.
Oh, Luque, right?
4th ranked contender Vicente Luque.
Be funny if he misses.
You called it.
He missed. What did they say?
It said 172.4, so they're going to check him.
I couldn't hear it. It was muted. Oh.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
he didn't say it to the mic. It's funny, though, because, like, he's not needed anymore, right? Unless something crazy happens,
He
but
probably
we'll
just
see.
had a fucking pizza for breakfast. Yeah.
172.2 for Vicente Luque.
All right.
So what happens? Does he get his money from doing
That's a good question. I mean, yeah, because then who would the fine go to, right? Who would the weight miss money go to?
They must pay you up front, like, to just do this horrible process.
Yeah, I guess.
I think he probably got wind that, like, yeah, they're both gonna make weight this morning. Chill out.
Yeah, that's probably a safe bet. Because I mean,
he's off to the buffet now.
Right.
Have a few chicken wings.
Well, Colby and Kamara made it. He was the very first person, and Colby was like around the hour mark, so he's had this whole last hour to know about that.
Yeah, he's probably already hit the buffet.
Very true. That's why he was over.
Yeah. Couple of McMuffins.
Yeah. But James has yeah, me too. I haven't eaten yet. Explanation here before we close out on the weigh-ins. Since we mentioned it, he says, Dust of the Gods aims to revolutionize luxury through biocentric upcycling. Each vintage piece is hand-selected and resurrected via the process of dusting, an artisanal approach to creating wearable art. How about that, Nick? That is sophisticated.
Well, sign me up. Get me some Dust of God. Yeah.
Sold.
Where can I get this?
Yeah. Look us up, James. Slide in the DMs. But
I'll buy a jacket.
All right, you guys. That is a wrap on the UFC 268 official weigh-ins. We will see you later for ceremonials, and then tomorrow for the fights themselves, where we'll have all the.
When's the ceremonials, man?
Ceremonials will be. It's a good question. Let's see here. They will be at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So same.
Be fast.
Same. same time as yesterday's press conference.
Yeah.
So
I won't be with you, but I look forward to logging in tomorrow and watching all the craziness. So
all right.
yeah.
There we go. So that'll be it for us right now, you guys. And we will see you later as Aaron Bronstetter enters my shot.
Is that Aaron? Tell him hi.
Yes.
What's up, Aaron?
He's outta
He
here.
doesn't remember me.
Yeah.
I went
All
to
right,
the
you
podcast
guys.
with him.
There we go. We will see you later. Stay tuned to SCMP for all your fight week coverage.
Cheers, guys.
Bada bang.